All right, let's talk about something every single one of us has gone through. Losing a chess game you were absolutely sure you had in the bag. We're going to dive into the 3 hidden traps, the psychological tripwires that are almost always the reason why. And, most importantly, we'll look at how to sidestep them for good.
Oh, you know this feeling. It's the absolute worst, right? Your position is just beautiful, you've got this amazing attack cooking, and then bam! It all just evaporates in a couple of moves. You're left just staring at the board, completely bewildered, asking yourself, wait, what just happened? It is, without a doubt, one of the most frustrating things in all of chess. But here's the thing. It's probably not just bad luck. 9 times out of 10, that sudden, shocking collapse can be traced back to one of 3 very specific, very common mistakes. These are like invisible traps that even pretty strong players fall into time and time again. So today, we're going to put a spotlight right on them.
Okay, trap number 1. This is the big one, probably the most common culprit out there, tunnel vision. This is what happens when you get so obsessed with your own brilliant, genius plan that you kind of forget there's a thinking human being on the other side of the board, and they have a plan too.
It's fascinating how this works. You're so focused on executing your sequence, your attack, your positional squeeze, that your brain literally starts to filter out information. It's like you're looking at the board through a cardboard tube. You stop seeing your opponent's pieces, their ideas, their threats. You become completely blind to their counterplay until it smacks you in the face.
So how do you snap out of it? You need a circuit breaker, a mental reset button. And believe it or not, it all comes down to this one simple question. Before every single move you make, you have to pause and genuinely ask yourself, if I could make a move for my opponent right now, what would it be? This one habit forces you to break out of that tunnel.
Now, want to take that to the next level? Here's the pro-level trick. When you ask that question, look for their most forcing moves first. What are those? Well, it's any move that screams, "Deal with me now." We're talking about checks, captures, and big scary threats. If you can spot their nastiest threat and your move is still good, well, now you're really playing chess.
Okay, let's move on to hidden trap number 2, and oh boy, this one is a real monster that causes pure heart-pounding panic, the ticking clock. We all know that feeling of dread as the seconds just melt away and you start making these awful rushed moves. Yeah, there's a fancy German word for it, Zeitnot. But here's the secret. The clock isn't the real enemy. The real enemy is what causes you to run out of time in the first place, and it's called analysis paralysis. It's that obsessive hunt for the perfect move, where you try to calculate a million variations and solve the whole game right here, right now.
And this really puts it into perspective. Think about it. Is it worth spending 5 minutes trying to find a move that's maybe 5% better than a perfectly good, solid move you could find in 30 seconds? No way. You're burning your most precious resource, time, for a tiny, maybe even imaginary advantage. All you're doing is setting yourself up for a disaster later on. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be practical.
So the fix is actually super simple and practical. It's a system called candidate moves. Instead of looking for perfection, just do this. Step 1, quickly find 2 or 3 moves that look decent. Don't overthink it. Step 2, give them a quick look. And step 3, this is the key. If one of them is clearly safe and improves your position, just play it. Trust yourself and move on. That discipline is a game changer.
And that brings us to our 3rd and final trap. One that's a little more subtle but just as deadly, and that's miscalculating piece trades. This is how a totally equal game can suddenly become a hopelessly lost one after just one bad exchange.
You know, the biggest mistake we make here is thinking a trade is just simple math, like a knight for a knight, all even. But it's not. Think of it more like chess surgery. You're not just swapping pieces, you're fundamentally changing the skeleton of the position. You're opening files, creating weaknesses, changing the whole landscape. And the problem is, we often just fail to see what that new landscape will actually look like.
So, to fix this, we need another disciplined system. A simple 3-step checklist before you pull the trigger on any trade. First, the easy part. Count the material. Is it even? Second, and this is crucial, what are the positional changes? Who gets a weak pawn? Who gets an open file? And third, the hardest part. Force yourself to clearly see the board in your mind's eye after all the pieces have left the board.
And this leads us to the single most important rule of trading. I want you to burn this into your brain. If that final position is fuzzy, if you can't see it clearly, just don't do it. Seriously, abort the mission. It is always, always better to be in a clear position you understand than a chaotic one you don't.
So when you step back and look at these 3 fixes, you start to see a pattern, don't you? This isn't just about patching up a few leaks in your game. It's about a complete shift in how you think at the board, moving from hopeful, frantic panic to a much calmer, more disciplined state of clarity.
So here it is, your new mental toolkit. 3 simple, powerful habits. Number 1, constantly ask, what's their best move? Number 2, stop hunting for perfection and use the candidate move system. And number 3, before any trade, run that 3-step checklist. These are your defenses against those hidden traps.
And you know what the amazing thing is? This isn't even really about winning more games, though you totally will. It's about how you feel when you play. It's about swapping that sense of confusion and panic for real, solid confidence. The game becomes clearer, your decisions feel stronger, and honestly, it just becomes a lot more fun.
So, I'll leave you with a challenge. Just one. Don't try to master all 3 of these things at once. In your very next game, which one new habit are you going to commit to? Are you going to be the player who always asks about the opponent's plan, the one who uses candidate moves, or the one who runs the checklist before every trade? Pick one, because making that one small change is how real improvement starts.